Morning, guys. So it's Wednesday, January 29th. (2025). So the temperatures came up a little bit. It's going up to about 40 degrees. I think that's why about 5 Celsius, 6 Celsius. Can't see my breath. That's a good thing. So I'm working on the last leg. I got the other 3 all screwed and glued, and now I'm going to be working on this last leg. She's in the square. Make sure I'm lined up properly. Made a little template that I use to for my screw pattern. Just measure up here. Let's see, 4.5. And then I made this little template where I marked out center, and it's got my screw holes on it. So I completed the 4 pieces I was working on yesterday, which would be the seat in the back. Actually found some extra foam. Connie said she wanted extra foam, so I actually found some extra foam to put on Connie's side. I don't need it. As they say, this is going to be 2 6-foot sections connected together. Just make sure I stayed square when I drilled. Sometimes you hit a knot, you can kick it. Yeah, it's a little bit. Okay. Let's drill another one in. So I pre-drill all these, and then I'm going to countersink them. So I'm using a deck screw with a rather large head. So I'm countersinking the holes. My countersinking tool. This works good with the tapered screws. So this finish that I put on here has completely dried, and it's kind of a low luster finish, like lacquer. It lets the wood grain bleed through. So I'm going to have to get some wood filler. That's something that I forgot. It's always something I forget. Have you ever noticed when you watch those woodworkers? Easy. When you watch the woodworker shows, how they always got, like, when they glue something, they put it together with all these clamps, and then it's all squirting out everywhere. Yeah, I don't do that. I just put a line up the center, spread it around a little bit. Gonna put a little on the bottom, and that's it. And good enough. The reason I say that is I don't want to mess squirting out. So I'm going to just put this together now. And ready to put some screws in. These deck screws, you all know how strong these are. These are actual construction screws. And they're coated, so I won't have an issue with run it in, check again with the square. I continue to check it, because it can actually turn just ever so slightly one way or the other. Even though it's in that slot, the slot is not as tight as I would have liked it. Tight, but not as tight. It's so much nicer when it gets above 14 degrees. down. I had a little project yesterday I worked on, and I learned something yesterday that I probably should have known, but didn't really put two and two together. I was always told not to use galvanize as stovepipe, but because it's outside, not in the house, doesn't matter if the galvanized cooks off it. Look at my tent blowing around. See the A-frame I made? That A-frame just holds this up pretty well, but it had fell over a couple of times, so I clamped the tarp to the A-frame, keep the wind from blowing it over, hitting me in the head again. But it took me out. So yesterday, I put this T, and on the end is a cap. And now I can take the cap and run my tool through the lateral. So some people have told me I should have just took the toe straight up out of the roof, but I don't have a chimney. And I don't like what I've seen as far as stovepipes coming out of the roof. I've never seen them where snow and stuff didn't blow into them. I've been on a lot of roofs, and they have to be vented, and then snow gets blown up in them. It's, I don't know. Then you end up with water coming down on top during flurries. Seen it happen. So I came out the wall with a lateral, and the trade-off is every once in a while I have to snake it through because it gets an accumulation of soot inside there. Just cut the tent hook, put some clamps to keep it from blowing around so bad in the wind. So the wind is coming out of the southwest, according to my weather vane, which explains the temperature warming up. It's coming up out of the south instead of from that nasty north. So this is the last one, and I'll have these completed. I'll just latch this over here. Got one more joint to complete. I got to go get some wood filler. Those three are all set, ready to go together. They're stained, they're finished, getting real close to being a couch. Had a few people criticizing me, saying, "Oh, he's building a couch out of 2x4s. You just wish you had the talent." I showed you guys yesterday I built just about every stick of furniture in my house, my bed. Why not build my couch? Everything else, I build everything else. And this construction is going to be stronger than anything coming out of Mexico, made out of, yellow pine stapled together. I kind of take it personally sometimes when people say that stuff to me. And it makes me want to show people, hey, how come I can do all this? Over the years, I've, I work on my own oil burners. I do all my own electrical, all my own plumbing. But I don't do it I understand the importance of electrical wiring, and I actually went, this is back in the 90s. Late 90s when I first came up here and bought this place. I went over to Radio Shack and I bought books. And then I also bought some of those, I don't know if you remember those Time Life books that they had, the how-to series. I bought the whole series. And I learned a lot from them books, man. Of course, we got the internet today. You can just, go on YouTube and watch somebody do it with a video. But back in the day, we had the how-to books. And I read them. And I learned. And what I didn't know, I knew how to ask questions. Out from us around, guys. Hope you're enjoying your day. It's been an alright morning. I'm getting plenty of coffee. And plenty of smiles from Connie. Out from Rusty Rhode Island.